Hi, my name is Kent Lee and I teach computer science at Luther College. This is the final video of a Python programming by example series that we've been working on. In this video, we're going to dress up our Frogger application a little bit by keeping track of score and also by keeping track of the number of lives that the frog has left. So to start things off, we're going to open up the terminal window again. So we'll start up the terminal, and if you're on a PC, you want to open up the Git Bash shell, and then we're going to CD to CD home and CD into documents, and then CD into programming and CD into Frogger, and then in there we're going to do a git checkout -f, and this is going to be lesson 12 that we're going to switch to here. Okay, so then we'll open up our wing, and we're going to go to File, Open, and we're going to go to Documents, and we're going to go to from Documents we're going to go to Programming, from Programming to Frogger, and from Frogger we'll open up Frogger.py. So this is our program that we have at this point. We've got our frog, we've got our race car, we've got our log classes, we've got our crocodile class, and we got the Frogger application. Okay, so we're going to add, right now when I run this program, this is what it looks like. We're going to add some more space over here to the right side to keep track of the score and also to keep track of how many lives the frog has left. So this is a canvas area that we've got in here, but we're going to add another frame over here. It's called a frame, and within that frame we'll add some other frames to make everything look really nice and pretty. So there's a few things we got to work on here to get all of this set up. We'll go ahead and let's see, we've packed the canvas here. I think we can just right after this we can start putting some of our other code that we want. So we're going to create another frame. I'm just going to call it frame, in fact, and this is a tkenter.frame that we're creating, and it's going to go into the root window along with that canvas that we were working on there. So now that frame is we're going to pack that frame, okay, and we're packing that frame. And actually, let's see here, we have the frame is going to go into self there. So we're going to pack that frame, and we're going to say side equals tkenter.right in this case, and we're going to also add something called fill, and we're going to say that that's going to be equal to tkenter.both in this case. So both is all capitalized. Okay, so we've got a frame that is going into self, and then we're putting it on the right side. And I believe when we run this at this point, we don't really see any change yet. So we're going to put something inside of that frame now. When we go to run it, we're going to put in a score, but to keep track of the score, we're going to keep track of what's called a string var. So tkenter.stringvar is going to allow us to change the score value as the program is running, and we're going to set that score value. There is a set method, and we're going to set it to 0 to begin with at the beginning of this game. We're also going to have a title to go with this. So we're building what are called widgets here to go into our interface. and in this case it's tkenter.label, and we're going to put that label in the frame, and the text for this is going to be score. So this is keeping track of our score, and we're going to pack that. So it's going to be score title.pack. Okay, and at that point, since we put that in the frame, now if we run this, we see score there on the right side, so you can kind of see how this is all going to play out eventually. Okay, so we got the score title there, but we've got a little bit more to go along with this. We're going to make a score frame as well, and that's going to be equal to a tkenter.frame object that we're creating, and we're going to put this in the frame as well, the other frame, and we're going to say that its height is equal to 2, which is the number of lines, and its border is equal to 1. These are where I found this is on the internet under the tkenter documentation, and tkenter.sunken is going to be the way it's going to look. Okay, and then we're going to do a score frame.pack as well, so that we can see that come up on the screen as well. And then we'll add the score as the last thing, so we'll do a score equals tkenter.label, and we're going to put that in the score frame, and it's going to have a height of 2 and a width of 20. Width equals 20, and that should be height equals 2, width equals 20. The text variable, this is so that we can change the score, is going to be equal to scoreVal, which we just created up above. Foreground color, we'll just make that equal to yellow, and the background color, we're going to make that equal to black. Certainly we could do other colors. There's no real reason to pick those, but we did. And then score.pack is going to pack that score. So when I run this now, there's what I see for my score over on the right hand side here, and I can change that score as I jump. We're going to do that here in just a moment. Okay, so there's a little bit more that I want to do. I want to keep track of the number of lives, and we might as well make this look pretty. So we're going to give it a title, lives title, and that's going to be equal to something like tkenter.label, and that's going to go in the frame as well, and we're going to make its text equal to something like frog lives remaining. Okay, and then we'll do a lives title.pack. So we're putting that in the frame. And we're going to keep track of a LivesFrame as well. And this is going to be another tkenter.frame. A frame, if you haven't figured it out yet, is just something that can hold other widgets. So we're going to put this frame in the main frame on the right side, and its height is going to be equal to 30, I think is what I'm going to do, and its width is going to be equal to 60 in this case, and we'll use a relief on this as well, that it's going to be sunken as well. So relief equals tkenter.sunken. Okay, and then we're going to do a LivesFrame.pack of that so we can see it. We're also, this is kind of crazy, but we're going to make another canvas here, and this is going to be equal to a scrolled canvas. And we're going to do this in lives. We're going to do a LivesFrame That's where the canvas is going to go, and it's going to have dimensions of 150 by 40 by 150 by 40 there. Okay, and we'll see what that's all about here in a moment. And then lives canvas dot pack as well. Okay, so we'll look at it, we'll run it and see what we get up to this point. So this is what we've got. Frog lives remaining, and we see this canvas area here along with the score that we've got up at the top there. Okay, now in that canvas area we can actually create more frogs if we want to, and that's exactly what we're going to do at this point. So I am going to first of all get a screen off of this. So we're going to do a lives turtle first, and that's going to be equal to a raw turtle on the lives canvas that we just created. And this is only so that we can get the lives screen that we need. So this is for keeping track of the lives that we've got left. So the live screen we're going to get from the lives turtle dot get screen. Okay, and in fact we're going to make that turtle disappear at this point too. So we're going to say lives turtle. We don't really want to see this turtle at all, so we're going to hide it. Okay, and the live screen, we're going to set its background color, which we're allowed to do, and we're going to make that black, I think, here in this case. Okay, and now one more thing for the live screen. We're going to have to call register shape again because this is a different screen. So register shape, and the shape that we're going to register is images / frogger.gif. Okay, so we've got the frog registered now on that live screen. So we're all ready at this point to go ahead and create some frogs. Okay, so the way we create a frog is we just say frog, and that's about all we need to do, except that we have this go to here, minus 0 minus 250, but that's not going to hurt anything. So we're just going to go ahead and create some frogs here, and we're going to do it at the end of this code that we're working on right here. So I'm going to do a F1 for the first frog, and that's going to be equal to frog, and then we have to provide the canvas to it. In this case it's going to be the lives canvas. I think that's the only argument that we have to provide to the frog is just the canvas. That's correct. Okay, and then we'll do F2 equals frog on the lives canvas. We're going to have 3 lives is what we're going to have when we start out. So 3 extra lives, and we'll tell these to go someplace here. Let's have F1.goTo so we get it to the right spots here. We're going to have this one go to I think probably minus 35 comma 0. Okay, F2 I think we'll have that one go to 0 comma 0, and F3 we'll have that one go to 35 comma 0. Okay, I think then we're going to keep track of our lives. We're going to say something like we'll just say lives equals, and then we'll do F1 comma F2 comma F3. So we've got all of those in a list for ourselves. Okay, if I've done everything correctly, there are the 3 frogs. It looks like it's just a little tight there. I want to maybe make that just a little bit taller and maybe move them apart just a bit more there to get everything the way I want it. So I think we'll do maybe minus 40 and then positive 40 here. And we're going to increase the height of it just a little bit so that LivesFrame, its height right now is 30. We're going to make that 40, I think, just to, maybe we'll make it 50 just to make it a little bigger. And then here we can do 50 and 50 for the LivesFrame. I think that's Lives Canvas. I think that's probably what I want there. And let's give it a shot and just see what it looks like here. So it's looking a little better. It's a little taller there, so they're still a little squished together. We could maybe make them just a little further apart even. So maybe minus 50 and 50 just to see what happens. That looks pretty good. So there's our lives remaining, okay, and we've got everything we need to. If we don't want to see those frogs appear like that and move around, as soon as we get the screen, we can do a screen.tracer. Here's the screen right here, so we could do a lives screen.tracer 0, and we could just do at the end of this a lives screen.update, so that when we run it we won't see all of that happen. Lives screen.update. So then we don't see all of that happening when it's starting up there. We've got our frog lives remaining, we've got the score there, and we're ready to go ahead and use some of these things in our program. So using them is going to involve a little bit of logic as the program progresses. So for example, when I jump now, I want to add something to my score so that my score increases as I jump. So I'm going to keep track of the score then as things go on. I'm going to say self.score, and I'm going to let that be equal to 0 when we start out here. And then as I jump, maybe each time I jump I want to add a little bit more to that score. So self.score, maybe we'll add 10 to it for each little jump and add 20 to it, or maybe 50 to it for each big jump. So that would help us keep track of score. I'm just kind of making this up. I don't know if that's the way Frogger really works or not, but we'll keep track of score that way. And in animate here, then we're just going to go ahead and every time animate is called, we're going to go ahead and update the score. Okay, so the score was called. The score was called, let's see here. The score val is the string var, and we can do a set on that, and that's what we want to do. So down here in animate, we'll do score val.set, and the thing that we're going to set is going to be a string of self.score. And that's going to keep track of our score for us. So if I run this just to see what's happening, every time I jump now, I'm going to see the score increased. And if I do my super jump, then I see what happens there, and it just says that you just fed the crocodiles, and I'm going to start over again at that point. Okay, so I also want to keep track of the number of lives that I have. So So that's keeping track of score that I've got there, but I want to keep track of the number of lives as well, so that I can so I know when the program is all done. I also notice that things are slowing down a little bit there, and it may be due to the fact that I'm setting this score at every update. So I think maybe I want to take that back out and not do that there, but I can do it wherever I increase the score. So I could do it here, for example, when I increase the score, and I could do it here when I increase the score. So I think that makes things move a little better. Certainly they're moving faster there. We don't want to put anything in animate that doesn't need to be there. And it looks like we're doing our super jump okay there, and as soon as I do the next one, I'm going to fall in and feed the crocodiles there. So there's my score increasing. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is keep track of my lives. So I started out with my score being 0, and I'm going to want to also keep track of the number of lives I've got. So I'm going to do self.lives, and we're going to let that be equal to 4 to begin with, which is the total number including the one that I'm working with at the beginning. So each time I die, I want to go ahead and subtract 1 from the number of lives and make one of those disappear. Okay, so that's pretty easy to do here. That's not going to be too hard. When I have died, I'm going to keep track of when I've died, and that's right here is one of them. Okay, and so if I'm not on a log and I fall in the river, I go back and start over again, and I'm going to do self.lives equals self.lives minus 1. Okay, and I'm going to make one of those lives disappear in that list, and that was called the I made it up here, the lives list. So I'll just make one of those disappear there. Now my lives will be down to 3. I've got 0, 1, 2 in here, so I think I can just make the take the number of lives and hide a turtle there depending on the number of lives. So I'm just going to do a lives sub, this is a subscript, self.lives minus 1, and that is a turtle, so I can just call hide turtle on it. Okay, so I'll do the same thing up here where I've also died. Every time I get run over by a car, I will also make a life disappear. Okay, and that will update things as we go on. And I probably then want to do not just a screen.update, but a LivesScreen.update in here as well, so I can see that the lives changing as well. Okay, so running this now, and actually I probably don't want to do that live screen update right there because again it's going to slow things down too much. We can do it right here, and we can do it right here. Okay, so things are moving along pretty good. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get hit by a car, and we're going to see what happens. So I just got hit by a car, you ran me over, and as soon as I do that I reset and one of my lives disappears there. I'm going to get through here and I'm going to do my, oop, got ran over. Okay, so I'm going to get through here and I'm going to go and jump on a log. Oop, just fed the crocodiles, and now I don't have any lives remaining. Okay, so this is it. Jump on the log. Oh, and I don't jump on the log. So I need a little logic in here to take care of when there are no more lives left, and that's when the game should end. So what I need to do is in animate here, I've got to check and see if I'm out of lives. This is one place where I might be out of lives, and this is the other place where I might be out of lives. So I got to put a little if statement in here that says if self.lives is, in fact, I want to do this before I try to hide the turtle, because I don't have any turtles left to hide at that point. So I'll say if self.lives is equal to 0, actually equal to, I had 4 lives at the beginning, so if it's equal to 0, then I'm going to want to go ahead and print a message. So game over. Okay, so game over, you are out of lives. Or thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. Okay. And I'm going to return from this without setting the animate to play anymore. So I'm just going to return, and then the animation will be all done. I'm going to do this one more time down where the other self.lives can end. And that is going to be right here. And we're going to go ahead and return and be all done at that point. Okay, so let's run it, see what it does here. So we're moving along pretty good. Everything seems to be working. Got ran over there, lost 1 life. Got ran over again, lost another life. We can see if we can jump onto a log. So I'm on the log, but as soon as I try to jump again, down to my last one here, I think that's right. Okay, I get run over, and it says thanks for playing, game over at that point, and no more animation, we're stuck. Now it turns out that the frog will still move around, but nothing else is happening, so kind of uninteresting at this point to just move the frog around. So that's the way things are at this point. We added quite a bit of code here at the end. I realize that you may not have been able to follow all of that, but if you update to final version, if you go out and you do a git checkout -f final, then you'll get the final code that I've developed here in this lesson, and you'll be able to play with it at that point and change anything that you want to change so that you can maybe even win the game. So good luck with it, have fun, try it out, and try adding a little bit more to it and making it a better game than it already is.